All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Kristen Kambenzi,
Here.
Jennifer Ray, Jason Zadunik,
Here.
Jennifer Cliff, Cheryl Maddox Smith,
Here.
Cassidy Thomas,
Here.
Eric Smith,
Here.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support. Okay, motion made by Mr. Zadunik, support by Mr. Smith. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. I don't think we have sound.
Yeah.
We can turn it up a bit for you.
Okay. Moving on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Kambenzi. Thank you, everybody, for coming this evening. Under the superintendent report, wanted to follow up from our last board meeting where we talked quite a bit about infrastructure and also the possibility of bringing on a construction manager. We had 4 responses to our RFP for a construction manager, 3 of which we interviewed on July 1st. The interview committee did consist of our board members and 3 board members and multiple administrators from MAPS. We interviewed 3 prospective construction managers: Clark Construction, Gunlock Champion, and Myron Construction. At our last meeting, I discussed some general parameters that we were looking for, obviously in addition to relevant K-12 experience, familiarity with the construction manager role, being able to manage a project of that scope and scale. And also in addition to those universal parameters, we're really hoping to find a local presence and also a company that provided pre-bond services, since we felt that was going to be important for this particular project or proposed project. So 3 interview candidates again, all brought great experience, and I do very much appreciate all of their interests in supporting MAPS with this important project. I was quite impressed with the presentations and the answers that they had to questions that we asked. We asked the same questions of all the candidates, and it was a robust process, as you'll see in the memo that I provided. I'm ultimately going to be recommending to the board this evening that we go with Myron Construction. And we have Todd Soberin, who's here from Myron Construction, who would act as a general contractor of sorts for this project. And appreciate Todd coming as to have a presence here and perhaps give you an opportunity after the meeting if you have any additional questions. But we are going to be recommending Myron Construction for a few reasons. First, they do have relevant K-12 experience, extensive relevant K-12 experience. They have robust pre-bond services, including community outreach and messaging. They had a solid understanding of Michigan law and qualified versus non-qualified bonds, strong alignment with our values and communication expectations. They do have a local presence, including an office in Marquette, and they have a very solid understanding of the local construction market with potential contractors, subcontractors for a project this scale. And they certainly have the capacity to handle this type of project. In the memo, you'll see more detail on the recommendation, the strengths, and I guess weaknesses for the 3 construction manager candidates, and again, the reason why I'm recommending Myron Construction. So that is, I guess, a synopsis of what I presented to you in a memo in your board packet for a construction manager, to bring on a construction manager for a potential bond project. Again, we're targeting May of 2026. Any questions on the construction manager recommendation before I move on to other? Hearing none, I did have one additional item under other. I would also like to take the opportunity to introduce our new MSHS principal, Gavin Johnson. Gavin in the back with a black shirt on. Welcome to MAPS Gavin in the Marquette Senior High School. Gavin comes to us with an abundance of experience. Over 23 years, I believe, of principal experience from multiple districts in the Lower Peninsula, most recently Brighton. And we are very happy to bring Gavin on board to Marquette Senior High School. Gavin will, of course, be taking over the helm from Brandon Wheeler, who left us and who is now currently a superintendent down in Jonesville. So anyway, welcome, Gavin. Appreciate you coming tonight and hosting this meeting. So that's all I have, Mrs. Cambenzi.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, moving on to the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of the budget hearing of the regular meeting of June 23rd, 2025, the personnel report dated July 2025, and the financial reports of June 2025.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Zedunick, support by Mrs. Maddox Smith. Any further comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to comments from the public. We have two. We'll start with Lisa M.
All right, I'm here regarding policy violations that continue to happen, particularly with one staff member. It's not my first time up here being here. You're hearing it for the first time, Mr. New Principal. But yeah, this is nothing new, and I wouldn't have to be up here if staff employee policies and violations thereof were followed, instead of only holding students and families to the 12th degree instead. So this staff member, Millie White, since 22, has violated policies. I've been here 3 times in 2 years about this matter, including 4 months ago, directly to your guys's, in this audience, directly stating the policy violations 4 months ago. Last month, Amanda emails me about following proper procedures for school-related matters. Well, when staff members are still violating things, this is a proper matter. So it's unreal that Millie White can just keep on lying and denying while she's continuing to talk with my daughter. And there are policies in place for current student involvement, or staff members with current students' involvement, and former students. So enough is enough with Millie White denying and lying about involvement, or you guys not even addressing it seriously, because even as recently as last month, Millie White is telling my daughter that her parent is a attention-seeking cunt. Enough is enough with 3 years of random bullshit from this staff member and her mouth, and accusations, which actually is also defamatory matters. There's a shit ton of rumors going around about me and my family, and a lot of this can be traced back to Millie White. And I will continue to push this further, not just here, because it's very evident, even from 4 months ago to now, that this administration doesn't take violations seriously of their own staff, but they will tell the parent or a family member or students, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that, but never mind violations by students. And so it again goes back to 22. It again is as recent as in the last few weeks. And you guys want to talk about policy going appropriate channels. Is appropriate channels Millie White telling students that Millie White is talking to an interviewer about her parent? Because Millie White didn't like CPS's handlings of things, so she went to interviewers but told the student? Is appropriate channels, that Amanda references, is appropriate channels, and you were copied on this, Zach, last month. And so is appropriate channels Millie White telling student that another student years ago didn't take Millie White's favors and offers up, and so Millie White then held that over my daughter's head, the hate and disgust of another student not taking Millie White's favors up. And so then it was held over my daughter's head, the hate and disgust about that other student, and I could name the student. I have proof so much, and even of the recent stuff, it's ridiculous Millie White's continued efforts to smear, bash, and trash my family, and also others, because even in 22, Millie White was trashing her job here, trashing everybody while lying continuously about her involvement. Millie White can't have it both ways. She can't keep lying and denying about her involvement or lack thereof when there continues to be proof. And even if she continues to lie and deny, then she's saying the student's lying. She can't have it both ways. And again, even with Millie White's talking about the former student, I have that name. There's another name. My daughter's not the first one to fall under Millie White's two-faced wrath. And enough is enough with even the cunt comment that Millie White told the student, because there's former student rules as well.
Margaret Brum?
Margaret Brum, 404 East Magnetic Street, Marquette, Michigan. In March of 2024, a statement was issued on behalf of the Marquette Area Public School Board with respect to comments I had made about the trademark Marquette Sentinels and my attempt to secure ownership of the trademark in order to further negotiations with the board. This statement is still available on the internet. It has never been taken down. It has never been withdrawn. It is still out there. It is extremely negative towards me personally, my efforts, and what I was trying to do. And further words were taken in terms of trademark troll, efforts are meritless, and MAPS owns the trademark Marquette Sentinels. Much has happened in the last year, and you have your own attorney, so I'm not here to bypass that person. But what I have not seen on behalf of that attorney is any attempt to reach you, the board, to tell you what is actually happening. So I'm here tonight to tell you what is actually happening. I made this copy. I'll drop it off at your secretary, your administrative professional at the end of the meeting, or when I walk back there. But basically, there's a copy for you. United States of America, trademark registration, Marquette Sentinels. I'm the owner of this trademark. It is in the service mark in the field of Class 41, educational services, namely conducting programs in the field of business. I've been presenting at the Peter White Public Library for well over 5 years on programs in the field of business and other things. Therefore, I've been used in this trademark, been used in this field for many, many years. It's different than the t-shirts. The trademark application was filed on February 4th, 2024, which is about a month before your representative made their statement, and with full knowledge of the fact that it had been filed, and it issued on May 20th, 2025. It does take a while. Your representative successfully obtained for MAPS trademark registration, Marquette Sentinels in the field of Class 41 educational services, namely providing secondary school extracurricular instruction in the fields of athletics, band, orchestra, so on and so forth. I have no claim to this particular mark. I'm not currently running on the athletic teams, nor do I have any intention of doing so. His application was filed February 5th, 2024, 1 day after mine. According to trademark law in the United States, that makes a huge difference. His trademark application was issued on June 10th, 2025. So what is different between the time this statement was made and what is today is the difference between what is real and what is easy to say. So I will leave this with you and recommend that you consult not just your trademark attorney, but also your school board attorney, because this statement is not trademarks. This statement has to do with the professional reputation of a person standing in front of you that has been arguably tarnished by this statement, which, by the way, was found not to be relevant. Your attorney, in his attempt to get his trademark application issued, made comments derogatory of me and my work to the trademark office. They were not successful in blocking my trademark application from being issued. In addition, a man named Nathan Joyelle, during the course of this event, wrote to the school board offering to have you send me to him so that he could, quote, take care of me in lieu of you having to deal with me. There is no response in the FOIA to that email. There's no response. There is no, yes, we want you to do this. There is no, no, we don't want you to do it. It is a matter of public record that the morning that he sent that email, by that night, he started after me. And by start after me, I mean going after me on Facebook, and then later on filing attempts to recall me for my position on the Board of Light and Power. Later on, last summer, I don't know if any of you know this, he filed charges against me with the State Bar of Michigan Attorney Grievance Commission, alleging that my actions in this trademark matter violated the rules of conduct of a state of Michigan attorney. I've been a registered attorney for over 30 years. I have practiced in this state and other states under my federal license. Never once in those 30 years has anyone brought any charges against me. I had to come back to my hometown to find that a person who has been convicted in federal court of both drug and weapons charges has filed a complaint against me relating to the matter with the school board. The school board was not named in this, but the Attorney Grievance Commission rejected Mr. Joyelle's complaints about me. I wanted you to know that as well, that an attempt was made to strip me of my license and my means to make a living in your name, and it was rejected by the Attorney Grievance Commission.
Thank you for your comments.
All right. Thank you for listening.
Okay, we'll be moving on to new business. Consider the recommendation of Myron Construction as construction manager for the potential bond project for Market Area Public Schools. So I would entertain a motion for that.
Make a motion to consider the recommendation of Myron Construction as construction manager for potential bond project for Market Area Public Schools.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Ms. Thomas, support by Mrs. Maddox Smith. Any further comments or questions regarding this?
Just a quick comment. I just wanted to mention that during the presentations, I was very happy to see the quality of all the individuals that came to present to our group. I thought it was a great presentation, great efforts by all those that presented to put forth a great effort for this particular project. So I just wanted to thank everyone for their efforts. So.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, we have motion and support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Consider awarding the Market Senior High School Gym Sound System Project to Superior Land Electronics Incorporated as recommended.
I'll move that we award the high school gym sound system project to Superior Electronics as recommended.
Support.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Smith, support by Mrs. Maddox Smith. Any comments or questions regarding this project? I believe it is in our packet.
It is, and if I may, I appreciate the board's support. I've spoken previously about the condition of the sound system in the gymnasium, and a lot of gratitude to Brett Dupra and his team at IDI and those others, some of whom are here tonight, that helped us do the design work on this somewhat novel project. But in the end, I think we have something that is going to be much better than what's currently in place, and I think the performance is going to be palpable. So thank you.
Okay, any further comments or questions? Okay, we have motion and support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Consider awarding the MSHS Planetarium Roofing Replacement Project to Bell Roofing as recommended. I believe that is also in our packet.
We make a motion to award the planetarium roofing replacement project to Bell Roofing as presented.
Support.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Zedunick, support by Mr. Smith. Any further comments or questions?
Is this being is this by a general fund project, or is this part of some of the grant funding for Shires?
This is a general fund project. So we had identified the planetarium roof in our asset management plans, and as a result of the recent developments or the recent fundraising efforts from the Friends of the Shires Planetarium and the significant improvements made to that space, it became very apparent that project, the roof project above the planetarium, needed to be expedited. There was leaking occurring that was coming into that space and potentially damaging the brand new equipment that had been installed. So quick correction, capital projects, not general fund. Thank you, Mr. Lampman. So I do appreciate the efforts of the Friends of the Shires Planetarium, significant efforts, and our planetarium staff in getting this project underway and now to completion. And to your question, Mr. Zedunick, it was not necessarily part of our original plan for capital improvements, but because of the significant investments in the planetarium space, we decided to expedite that particular part of the MSHS roof.
Thank you. Is the work, given the issues, is that scheduled to begin before the snow flies here? Or?
Mr. Roberts from GEI is here, could potentially answer that question, but I will say yes, the plan is to get that project done hopefully this summer.
Yeah, before it starts.
Before school starts, certainly before winter.
Thank you.
I have a question. Is there going to be additional things that we need to do to address the leaking? Is there damage or things that we need to consider?
Very minor. Replacing a couple ceiling tiles, perhaps running a dehumidifier, a little maybe painting. It was relatively minor, but it's been an ongoing issue. We thought we had addressed it with patching that had been done multiple times. The patching has not held up, and we did notice that the leaking was still a problem after the installation. So, but to answer your question, there are minor. There's going to be minor repairs necessary, barring any unforeseen changes in the current circumstances. If we get a significant weather pattern in, we'll certainly be monitoring and making sure that there's not more damage.
Do we have a contingency in this to cover that?
There is a contingency in the project. I think the current contingency would cover the minor repairs that I mentioned.
There's only roughly a 10%.
10% contingency.
So it's 5,000 right here.
Right, but that will certainly cover what we've identified so far.
Oh, I see that.
If I may just give a quick note of appreciation to one of our board members, Eric Smith, who has brought some unique expertise to the board and even to my office on some projects. He was instrumental in getting our radio system upgrade. His technical skills and experience have paid many dividends to us already in his short tenure, even before he was a board member. So thank you to Mr. Smith for providing advice and consult on some of these projects.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any further comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, we have motion and support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Consider awarding the MAHS solar project to Peninsula Solar as recommended. I believe this is also in our packet. And I believe much of this will be grant funded and fundraised.
Yes, I'm going to actually pass this one over to Mr. Lampman, who has been more involved in the project, but yes, it is grant funded. There may be a small amount that we cover depending on how the project unfolds. There's some engineering or additional assessment of our trusses needed that we weren't expecting. But Mr. Lampman, did you want to speak more to that project?
I can. So this is actually a project that's been in the works for quite some time. It was in the works when I came on board with the district back in 2021. And I will give a shout out to Brian Prill, who is a teacher up at Market Alternative High School, who has been spearheading this campaign for a solar project at the Alt, largely to use as an educational tool for students. Brian's involved in our college and career readiness program. So he worked through the zoning issues with the township in order to for the school to become compliant for solar, and he also spearheaded a fundraising campaign. And to date, he's raised a little over $37,000 for this project. This year, we applied for and were awarded a solar grant through the state of Michigan. It's a matching grant, 50% up to $100,000 project. So potentially the state would kick in $50,000, and we would kick in the other $50,000. Luckily, when we went out to bid, the project came back less than we were anticipating. We're looking at roughly the $75,000 mark. The one caveat is we do have a contingency built into this project. But if we were to need to utilize the full contingency amount, we would fall about $1,300 short of meeting the full contingency with the current grant funding that we have and donations raised. So that would be something that the board should be aware of. Assuming we don't use the full contingency, it would be fully funded by grant and donation funds.
Thank you. So I would entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion that we award the MAHS solar project to Peninsula Solar.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mrs. Maddox Smith, support by Ms. Thomas. Any further comments or questions?
Does this project have any implications for the utility budget for the district in reducing costs?
Yes, I believe there was. Maybe Mr. Roberts, if I put you on the spot, you could speak to that more so than I. But I know there was a determination made at some point. There was an assessment done that would quantify savings. I don't have that.
I don't have the direct dollar amount, but it's roughly an 18 kilowatt system, so there should be some reduction in your energy bills on a monthly basis.
And one more question, are there ongoing maintenance or upgrade costs that will incur once the system's installed?
I don't believe so.
As far as the estimated useful life of the system, I don't know if you have that. For some reason, I'm thinking 25 years in the back of my mind.
25 useful life.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, hearing none, we have a motion and support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Consider approval of the change order for the Cherry Creek Elementary School Outdoor Learning Project as recommended. I believe that is also in our packet. Any background on that?
This is a relatively minor ask. We had a little mishap with some benches that were included in specs, but not necessarily in the winning bid. And rather than do that within the current project scope, we thought it would be better, more transparent to bring it to the board. In your packet is the total amount, roughly $6,000 for those benches that again were listed, but not necessarily listed in the original specs, but not necessarily in the winning proposal or the proposal that was awarded to Primo Construction. So we're looking for an approval of that change order, which increases the cost of the project by roughly $6,000.
Okay, I would entertain a motion for that.
Make a motion to approve the change order for the Cherry Creek Elementary School Outdoor Learning Project as recommended.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Zedunick, support by Mrs. Maddox Smith. Any further comments or questions?
How come it seems like these change orders always are for the increase? I never see a decrease one goes.
I'm not sure those need approval. Perhaps Todd, is it Sabrin or is it Sabrin?
Sabrin.
Oh, it is, okay, Sabrin. Mr. Sabrin, are you predicting any of those types of change orders?
There will be no change orders.
All right, so we have motion and support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Consider approval of Phase 2 copier replacements as recommended.
Make a motion to approve the Phase 2 copier replacement as recommended.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Zedunick, support by Ms. Thomas. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Consider approval of the June 11th, 2025 Truant Policy Update. That is also in your packet. Linda, do we have any further thing on that?
Life works. Truant Law Firm has given us a summary of all of the policy updates. That was in all of your packets. Most of the updates are updated legal citation, added language for clarification, and removal of redundant information. The Office for Civil Rights has an updated address, and this address change is reflected several times. Of note is Policy 3408 with regard to firearms and weapons. There is an added notices section to comply with new student safety legislation. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services will be publishing a notice regarding best practices for the safe storage of firearms by October 1st. As soon as it is available, we will be providing it to parents and guardians as required, and we'll be posting it to our website annually. Policy 5712 clarified what is considered an athletic activity to include physical education classes. We already provide concussion awareness information to all families on our website, as well as in our packets for new students. That should pretty much cover the full policy update.
Thank you for that. So I would entertain motion for those.
Make a motion to approve the June 11th, 2025 Truant Policy Update.
Support.
Okay, motion made by Ms. Thomas, support by Mr. Smith. Any comments or questions?
Just because I'm new, I'm assuming these policies are used by other districts. Does that mean these changes follow that others would be using the same language in their policies?
Correct. When we adopted these policies, you'll see on a couple of them that there was optional language that we adopted. That would be the only difference from what other districts have adopted to these updates. The only optional language that is changed from what we previously adopted, and I have to look at it, is some language with regard to contracts. Policy 4403, we changed the language that we had adopted from biennially to triennially because it was in conjunction with our last contract. But otherwise, pretty much these policies are the same as what has been adopted, except for the ones that we've chosen not to adopt because they're optional.
Thank you.
Okay, any further comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to board member comments. We'll start with Mr. Smith.
I have a couple of comments. First, I want to thank the board for their support of the new roof for the Shiras Planetarium. I know that wasn't on the radar, but it certainly is needed. It's at a critical stage right now, and to be able to protect that equipment that's in there is paramount. The Friends of the Shiras Planetarium had a preview of some of the new system's capabilities, and we're going to be anxious to have everyone take a look at it, and for the public, once the planetarium opens, to see these new capabilities. They are truly impressive, and to see some of the faculty excitement in being able to teach in this facility, I think is going to generate a lot of enthusiasm on the part of our students, and that's really the bottom line, and I think where we're going to see as a district some major gains. I also want to thank the administration's willingness to pause the sound system project briefly while we answered some critical questions. And I think as a board, we need to be grateful for having an administration that isn't afraid to press the pause button when warranted, so that we make sure we get it right. At the end of the day, we're spending a lot of money on a lot of different projects, and as we move into a phase where building renovations and upgrades to the facility are coming, it's encouraging to know that we have folks who are not only willing but able to do it the right way. And that's going to not only result in a better product at the end, but I think it's also going to help us generate as much savings as possible in some very complex projects. So thank you to the administration.
Thank you. Ms. Thomas?
Thank you to those of you here to answer questions for us tonight. Welcome to our new principal, and thank you to the public for their comments. I didn't know how much a bench cost, but it's a lot more than I would have thought. And no further comment.
Thank you. Mrs. Maddox-Smith?
I just want to welcome our new high school, Gavin, our new high school principal. Thank you. And look forward to talking to you and learning more about you. Just really excited about a lot of infrastructure stuff going on, but it's just so exciting, some of the changes like the Shiras Planetarium, you know, better facilities, encourage better learning, and we are just very blessed in our communities to have such a great community that we're fundraising and finding grants and just doing all these things for our students. So thank you everybody for the hard work that we're putting in and you're putting in.
Thank you. Mr. Zednik?
Welcome, Mr. Johnson. No additional comments. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to board president comments. Just echoing my fellow board members, welcome, congratulations, and we look forward to working with you. Let's see, announcements and other meetings. August 25th, 2025, board meeting back here in the Little Theater at 5:30. September 2nd, 2025, the first day of school. Whew. That seems like that's coming really quick. Let's see. And then I would like to recess to close session in the central office boardroom under Section 8A of the Open Meetings Act. Employees request to consider a periodic personnel evaluation.
You need a motion for that?
Do we need a motion for that, Linda?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We need approval, we don't need a roll call.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to recess the closed session.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Zadinek, supported by Mrs. Maddox Smith. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.